Hi tarot lovers, how are you this morning? Card of the day today is the Two of Swords. So check out this lady sitting on her bench in front of the body of water and the moon with two swords crossed over her heart and a blindfold on her eyes. So the swords are a very dualistic suit with their two cutting edges, with that obvious divide down the middle of the sword itself. And this is the number of duality, and so we're having a very dual experience here with this card. This card is speaking about sitting in the mind and the intellect where duality rules. This is the world of duality, where there's always decisions to be made, always choices that are taking place, and there's a constant debate going on inside of our minds. Now, we know what this decision-making story is. We know about the indecisive nature of our mind, where we're trying to figure out what is right versus what is wrong. We're trying to understand and to be able to judge properly what is good versus what is bad. And we look to our past conditioning a lot of the time in order to understand and in order to make these decisions. The problem is with the programs from the past, a lot of them are conflicting with the present moment choices that we have to make. And yet we nearly always refer to our intellect to make choices, and we allow our mind to be the major tool that we use in order to make a decision in our lives. And yet those decisions are very much based upon past experiences, memories, and the programs that we've instilled in our subconscious. One of the biggest dualities here is the duality between what we are conscious of mentally and what we are unconscious of mentally. So there's a whole bunch of programs whirring on below the surface in our subconscious, of which we are not aware. In maybe 95% of our thoughts and our thinking inside of our brain is unconscious, and we are not aware of it. And yet we want to be aware and make the right decisions with that 5% awareness that we have. And yet 95% of the time it's our subconscious that's making the decisions for our lives. And that means that we are walking through this world in a kind of an asleep subconscious state, making choices on autopilot without the conscious mind being that involved. In order for us to be more involved in our conscious choosing and deciding process about what we do in our life, we need to take our mind inwards, and part of the message here is to close off your senses to the outer world and to go within and find the choices from within. However, all of these programs on the intellect and are all based on past memory, and those past memories have taught us a lot, and we've learned some lessons therein, and we can make educated choices according to the lessons that we've made. But the present moment is always going to be unique. It's always going to be right here, right now, and it's always going to be it's not always going to refer to the past. And we don't want to be repeating the same stories from the past anyway. We want new experiences, and we want, fresh understandings and more positive growth in our life. And so the intellect, basically, in the mind, isn't always the best tool to use to make decisions. And there's going to be this limitation, because when we make a choice and when we find the right answer, there's always the darker wrong side to it. And when we look at the wrong answer, there's something good there too, and the same with good and bad and right and wrong. In the world of duality, we're never going to find that one answer that we're looking for, and it's that one answer that we're really looking for. This is the typical mind who's so focused on whether this path A, B, or C is the correct path. Which one's it going to be? And the mind would just love to debate that story for forever and ever. And it's more important for the mind to debate it is than walking the path. Yeah? If you just stand in front of those three options and you feel your body into them, then you're much more likely to find the right answer, because it's when we sit in our hearts and when we sit in our bodies a little bit more and in our emotional states, as well as all the logical reasons that might be involved in the story, but when we sit in that logical space, this is when we're more likely to be confused and sitting on the fence and finding it more difficult to make decisions. And when we sit in our body and when we sit in our hearts, and this is the trick of the card, the two duality, the two arms are crossed over the heart. And this is the key, really. This is where the two become one, when we go within and we feel into what actually is more important for us. This is the, there's a message here where a lot of the time we're looking to find the right choice and the right decision to make. And in the bigger picture, there are no wrong decisions. And even the decisions that seem to end up badly are usually the best lessons. And so were they the wrong decision if we learned the most from them? And they might have been the more difficult choices, but through that difficult choice and through the complication, we've grown more. And so the right-wrong dynamic is sheerly a mental thing. And if we go beyond that, if we step outside of our mind and say, hey, how would I want to feel? Not what is right or wrong, but how do I want to feel? And you just sit in that feeling for a moment, you'll find that one of those paths, A, B, or C, will light up to you, because you're sitting in a state of awareness and you're vibrating in a way that you would like to continue vibrating with, and the path which will help that vibration, which was most in tune with that vibration, will light up in your mind in some way or another. It's not about where that path will take you, but it's about how you walk on that path that's much more important, and that's where the lesson is and the journey is. And so with this duality, it's about going within is super important, being aware, becoming aware of your subconscious programs, more than anything else, learning to step outside of the mind sometimes, allow yourself to feel your body, allow yourself to center your thoughts in your heart, and just be in the present moment instead of running old programs from the past experiences that we may have. I hope this has been a good message for you. Wish you all a fantastic day.